Putting the helmet on is always tough.
The opportunity is right now.
Terrific defensive play. Intercepted. Off the back. Two on the move. Going deep. Speed race. He's got Hill. He's got Hill. The Dolphins have recaptured the lead.
It's kind of nice to be back with the boys. I'm not gonna lie. Don't get me wrong. What I was doing was electric, and we'll get into that. But I miss having the full control at the wheel, virtual simulator right in front of me. So good to be back.
Oh, Redstone off the rip. Noah, always supporting the channel, always sending us super chats. Let us know if you got any questions today. No, appreciate you, buddy.
Hell yeah.
Well, boys,
I'm big time.
We skipped last week because Bobby was too busy in San Francisco, just roaming the streets of Media Row. I would like to just get right into how Bobby's week was, because I'm super excited for everybody to listen and hear how amazing his week was. It was the first week in, I would say, since we started this pod that I didn't talk to Bobby every day. And I had a little bit of separation anxiety, buddy. I know that sounds silly, but like, you get into a rhythm of just talking to somebody every, like, even if it's just a little 30-hour a day. Bobby was grinding, bro. No time to waste. Bobby, just get right into it. Like, what? So you've never been to San Francisco, right? So give us your first initial reaction to landing in San Fran, driving into town. Like, how was it for you coming from the Bayou?
Coming from the Bayou, yeah. So caught a flight, Lafayette to Houston to San Fran. Freaking long as hell. When we first landed, it's cool because there's Super Bowl shit everywhere. Like, they want you to know you're at the Super Bowl. So like all the signage, you're like, damn, this is real. Like, we're at the Super Bowl. And then we're driving down the highway, and that's when I realized this is different, because it's weird. Like the housing is on the side of the highways, and it's like packed like on top of each other, going up the hill houses. It's insane.
Straight full house vibes.
Yeah, and then we get to our house, and it's super San Fran. Like, we got an Airbnb for the house, the Stay Tranquilo, sponsored by Stay Tranquilo. And it's like super Bay Area house. Like, it's like, the long, tall houses stacked shoulder to shoulder. And we got one, and it was super cool, man. It was awesome. It was awesome. That's it.
Yeah. So like Joe Robbie said, you were like, I didn't think that Bobby was going to be as busy as he was. I know that like the State Tranquilo boys, they're a well-oiled machine. Okay. Behind the scenes, they have their P's and Q's in a row. All right. And then I texted Bobby because he sent us a couple photos, like Media Row, getting the table all set up. And they have like set gear, like neon signs, like all this stuff that they had to bring. I'm like, Bobby, they didn't fly with all that shit, did they? He's like, oh yeah, buddy. So tell us about like just the setup, setting up the table, getting the Media Row, the credentialing process, kind of just walking in the door as if we're walking in there with you.
Yeah, so it's cool. When you first get there, obviously you can't go straight to Media Row. They have it's like a side building. You go through like a tent area, metal detectors, yeah. And then you go into like it's like a courthouse. You got to go down the snake to the front of the courthouse. It was the craziest shit. The coolest thing that it was right out the gate. When you walk up to the building where you get your credentials, they say, step up and look into the camera. The second you look into the camera, your picture comes up and it says, welcome to the Super Bowl, Bobby. It like recognizes you. Like, because you have to go through face recognition and all these like protocols and background checks to get there. So as soon as you step up, it like your picture comes up on the big screen and it says, welcome to the Super Bowl, Bobby. I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's insane. So yeah, we get our credentials, and dude, shout out to them guys, because they did fly with like two full production bags, but also like they bought a lot of stuff. Like, they found a Target close by. They found an Ace Hardware. They bought the 2 shelves. They went to Target and bought an extra neon sign. They had one. So there was a lot of we threw it all together. Honestly, it was like a shotgun podcast setup, and it worked. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, if you think about it, the best group projects are the ones that are last minute. Everybody's just grinding last minute and just putting something together.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, obviously, we were talking about it a little bit backstage, right? You had the chance to be around, some of the best now, some of the best in the past, some of the coolest people all around sports. Who was your kind of favorite of the weekend, top to bottom, what it looked like, whether or not, who it was, who we played, that you just enjoyed kind of talking to the most?
Yeah, I think, and it's not surprising, but it is surprising. It wasn't the biggest name. I think the coolest interview was Trey Boston. Rosenhaus, obviously, shout out to Wingo. He linked me up with that last minute. That was clutch. But dude, Trey Boston was sick because you don't know anybody, right? You're meeting these guys and then they're sitting down and you're interviewing them. It's like, there's not much like ice breaking. Well, we get started. And I mentioned, he mentions he's having a paddleball tournament, and I mentioned pickleball, and he goes, "Not pickleball. Pickleball's for losers." I said, "Are you trying to hype it up? It's like the same thing, right?" And he was like, he got mad, funny mad, but like he was like, "Absolutely not." I said, "Well, I know how we're starting the podcast." Well, we start the podcast, and you'll see it. And I'm like, "So first things first. Apparently, you got a lot to say about paddleball versus pickleball." So, and dude, he did like promos, like 3 of them during this episode. So he'd like find the camera. He like, "First off, let me tell you something." And he'd go full Hulk Hogan. And he was like, "Pickleball's for non-athletes. You don't move. Paddle balls for real men, athletes, break a sweat, get after it." He'd go crazy. And then at the end, we did something. We talked about, I forget what it was, but he cut another epic Hulk Hogan promo where he like basically leaning over the table and like, just freaking like it was electric. Trey Boston was electric. I think Jordan Poirier, surprisingly, a lot of people got a little angry when they seen the Jordan Poirier episode coming because he's loved so much in Miami. And we talked about that. He was a good sport. Like he was funny. He was funny as shit about that. I asked him about the crazy AC joints. He showed me the broken fingers. And then by the end, though, we were talking about mental illness. And I swear this dude, we went from shitting on him for HN burning him to him talking about like, struggling with addiction, basically being so drunk he couldn't even wake up and be there for his 3-year-old daughter. He talked for 10 minutes straight and nobody needed to say a word. It was like he cooked, and it was super cool to see that transition of conversation and to be there. That's another thing. I told Joe this. We really don't understand how much we miss of this, but being shoulder to shoulder with a man as he tells you his story, the conversation and chemistry, you can't replace that. Like being there and looking a man in his eyes, you can feel it. You know what I mean? And it was super cool. And he was an open book. And I know a lot of people were, wondering how that conversation went or like whatever, but it was awesome. I have a lot of respect for Jordan Poirier now.
So basically what I want to do is day one, right? So day one, you didn't sit in your table and people were just walking by. I kind of just walked them through how the process went because I know it's more like a convention center, almost like a home show, like speed dating for podcasting, basically what it is. So the first day was like the welcome event, right?
Yeah, it was opening night of the Super Bowl. So actually we got there, we hustled up and got our setup put together, and then we had to leave. This is the downfall of San Fran. This is my one complaint. Nothing is close. Nothing makes sense. It's a shit layout. It's a big triangle around the bay, and everything is in a different city. So the convention center for Media Row is in San Francisco. The Super Bowl was in Santa Clara, and everything to do with the Super Bowl teams, you have to go to Santa Clara. 1.5-hour bus ride for that. They got shuttles to take you to anything you want to go, but it's 1.5 hours. So we're hustling all day to get our setup ready. You're not doing anything Monday. We know we're going to open at night ceremonies. We take 1.5 hour bus ride. After being on a plane all morning, my ass was killing me. Nonetheless, we take 1.5 hour bus ride to Santa Clara. That ended up probably being close to the peak. We were worried that the rest of the week would not live up to it because, dude, let me tell you something about open ceremonies. That is that is the shit. They bring out each team and you get a full hour locked in a cage, basically, to just go get as many interviews as you can. Yeah. And it's like, unlike Media Row, where everybody doesn't have to give you time, they're there to give you time. If you will, even the biggest of the biggest, if I wanted to wait long enough, I could have got a question with Mike McDonald or Mike Vrabel. If you wait long enough and you're willing to wait for that line and that pile of people, you can interview anybody in that building. They're all there. nothing is not accessible to you. I mean, like you see, we walked in the building, I seen Schefter. I said, well, I'm going to fucking try to interview Schefter. And, you know, he kind of big time me, but I got my 3 questions and I got out of there.
No, you got in there. You got them in.
I don't care.
Yeah, no, yeah. They count. It counts.
I told the boys, I said,
somebody in the chat asked if you were able to like get connections for the podcast. I kind of wanted you to, because I asked that same question to you. I kind of wanted you to touch on how hard it was to actually connect with people because it's so fast paced.
Yeah, you get some connections like through publicists and whatnot. You get a lot of numbers, like give people your numbers, emails. But like, as far as like, yo, what's up, brother? Would love to get you on the podcast. One, you probably just got them on your podcast because that's the only way you're really talking to them. So you just interviewed them. And 2, it's like, it really is speed dating. So it's like, hey, their publicist comes up. Jordan's here for his interview. They sit down. You say a couple of jokes. Get the camera set up. You do a 10 to 15. It's like, all right, appreciate you. Just get a picture real quick. Take a picture. And their publicist like basically grabbing their arm and like sprinting to the next booth. So it's like, there's not a lot of time to be like, hey, you know, I'm Bobby. You know, I'm homeboys with Derek Wingo. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what we do. Would love to get you on. Let me get a number. Let me get you my number. It wasn't like, there wasn't a lot of that. So it was kind of just like, you make the most of the week, and don't get me wrong, you get your money's worth by far, but like, it's not a lot of really rubbing elbows.
So I was going to add in there too, you know, one of the things from my perspective and just working with the team at Rosenhaus as well, you know, we have a list of guys sometimes that we'll send out to Media Row, right? And a lot of times, sometimes it's actually upcoming guys for the draft. And in doing that, as your athlete, right, if you're with your publicist, your media person, like you're wanting to hit as many stations, as many things as you can, because it helps get your name out there more. It helps get brand, like it's a necessity. It's almost like a marketing thing because it's putting your name out in different places and people are hearing it. Your name's coming up on hashtags and all these certain things. So there's definitely like, I remember we talked about it actually with our media person for Rosenhaus is we were making jokes about sending like one of our like top guys to Media Row to go do something. He's like, I'm not doing that. But because he did it though, back when he was a younger athlete, because something like that helps you kind of get out there. And now obviously you see all these NFL guys wanting to be broadcasters and wanting to be on television. So now this is another thing for them to put on their media and then just get reps. Reps is the biggest thing that could lead you into that career for life after football as well.
Yeah, I think you realize too that they're there as much for themselves, like you're saying, as you're there. Like you think you're there to get them, but like, dude, they all got a book. They're pushing the next hottest thing they got, right? They're pushing the book. They're pushing the whatever they got. They always have something. They don't just come to your table to chop it up about football a lot of times. So like, that's one thing I did understand is they'll do 20 interviews because that's 20 places their book's going to get promoted out there on YouTube or wherever people are doing these things. So like, it's kind of smart on their end as well.
Yeah.
So one guy did big time you that you mentioned, and I kind of wanted you to tell the story about Cam Newton. Yeah.
So first things I will say, first thing I want to say is it doesn't matter. Like you're allowed to big time people. You don't like you're out. This was towards the end of the day. This guy's probably been doing interviews or whatever, 8 hours at this point. So like you're allowed to big time people. It doesn't make it less of a big time. But when I was younger, Cam Newton, I had an awesome, I want to say that too. I had an awesome moment with Cam Newton when I was younger. It was his MVP year. I walked up to him on a training camp. I wanted a picture. He turned around. Waiting on you, baby. Took the picture. Cool as shit. Me and Trey Boston talked about that. Then it's funny enough. A few hours later, I'm walking. Yeah, I'm walking behind the tents because when you got media access, you can go everywhere. So if I wanted to, like, I could walk behind Kay Adams' set, and I don't think you should, but you can like look in the back production, like you can look behind their like setup and see the production crew. Like you can go anywhere. So technically, like these players walk through and they take them to the back of these places to get away from the crowds. But I can still go back there if I wanted. I was walking behind there because we have a private bathroom for media. I was coming out of the bathroom. Granted, this is another thing. It wasn't a great time. He's putting his bag down. I'm coming out of the bathroom. And I got my camera guy with me. That was the other crazy thing. I had a designated camera guy the whole week. Like I always had a guy following me with a camera for pictures and a camera to record.
You said you were walking out of the bathroom, though.
Cameras weren't on, but my camera guy was with me. So I was like,
okay.
Yeah,
I just had to catch you.
We're not doing. I did see Dan Patrick's show. It was in the corner right next to this bathroom I'm talking about, actually, right next to Sirius XM radio. We come out of the bathroom. My guy has a camera around his neck. He's not recording for the chat getting crazy. And I seen Cam Newton. So what do you like? It's one-on-one with Cam Newton. I'm not going to just like pass him up. And I'm like, yo, Cam, can I get a picture? And he goes, bathroom. And never looked at me. Just looked at the bathroom, said bathroom, and kept walking. And I was like, I guess that's no. I don't. Do I wait? Like, what the fuck was that? And yeah, he was like, oh, what? My camera guy was like, you want to hang out? I was like, fuck no, let's get out of here. That's fucking weird.
Yeah, that's kind of like you gotta go. But that makes a lot of sense that you had the designated camera guy. That's kind of from what you were sending us, even just offline, like, hey, look at all this stuff. It's like kind of like a madhouse. Like it is truly a free for all. If you get access, you have access. There's no kind of levels of access there. I mean, you're just like rolling up to the Pat McAfee set, just chilling with the production crew. Kay Adams pointed you out. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that was wild. That was my first experience when we came into Media Row Tuesday and it was actually up and running. And Kay Adams is live. And we take the long way to kind of see all the sets and how they're working. Obviously, it's awesome. That's probably the best part is like you're doing your interviews and then you like got an hour gap. And I'm like, yo, grab the camera. Let's go. And then like you can walk, like you go over there and watch Pat McAfee front row, or you can walk over here and see the EA Madden booth and Cam Scatterbo's playing one-on-one versus Malik Neighbors. And then you go next door and Kay Adams is live with Gronk. So it's like, that's probably the coolest part too, is like, you can like basically turn the channel by walking next to the booth, just one by one. You're like, this is insane. Yeah. And the first morning we walk in, I take the long way around. I go by Kay Adams and I'm like, I'm gonna get a video real quick walking by. It's her and Gronk. And I'm taking the video and I'm walking by. And as she's talking to Gronk, she looks up and she goes, look, this guy stopped in his tracks to see you. And it's me. And I'm like, you're recorded. And it was still cool, but it was awkward. You know what I'm saying?
That'd be funny if they actually like pan the camera live to Bobby and Bobby just standing there with his camera up, and that's on like live television.
I'm in to go find the live feed and see if there was anything like that, or at least see the moment it happened.
Yeah.
But how was the nightlife?
Yeah, we're gonna get into
that. So I owe San Fran an apology, and apparently you can't call it San Fran. Locals hate it. Like if you say San Fran, you get cooked, and I don't understand because that's the coolest. I thought that was the coolest nickname ever. They hate San Fran. Apparently, it's SF, San Francisco, or the Bay. If you say San Fran, you're a loser. Okay, but anyways, I owe San Fran an apology. Now, granted, they probably cleaned the hell out of that city for the Super Bowl to come in, but there were homeless people. I did see human piles of shit on the sidewalk, but like the actual city though was electric. It's basically New York with big ass fucking hills. And the bars. The best bar, pound for pound, the best bars I've ever seen in my life. It's every 5 foot, there's another dive bar, and it's mint. I mean, great vibes. Every bar,
Bobby,
every
they call those
foot.
speakeasies, bro.
I only went to one actual speakeasy. These are actually hole-in-the-wall bars, but they were electric. Dude, you go in, they got plants hanging off the walls, open roof. You see the big buildings over top of it was like, dude, it was nice. The city of San Fran itself is awesome. I highly recommend people going to San Fran because I myself was one of those people that like the pandemic and things you see on the internet, you just hate San Fran. You're like, I'd never go to San Fran. It was awesome. It was an awesome week in San Fran.
And just so we're clear, they call it Frisco.
And Frisco is the slang term on the streets.
Yeah.
Frisco, which I thought that was pretty cool too, but I thought San Fran was cool. They thought that was the dumbest shit they ever heard in their lives.
And somehow I now want a Frisco melt from Steak and Shake.
Yeah.
Did not see the Golden Gate Bridge. I really didn't get to do any of the cool like scenic shit because you really are like, I want to be clear, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. We're just like hustling Media Row, trying to get content, getting interviews, whatever you can do. You just got to be available. And then after that, we'd like get dinner and then go find a spot to grab a drink, and that's pretty much the night.
How many? We only even got to see like a fraction of the people that you spoke to and the players and whatnot. We did get some clips. The Drew Lock clip kind of blew up on YouTube. That was hysterical.
That was electric.
Dude, that Jeezy clip, he'll never live that down. That's awesome.
50,000 views, by the way.
Yeah. But Bobby, like who did you, if you can remember even, who in terms of content, who are we going to see coming up?
Yeah. I think I can name off all of them actually. Physical content. I don't put out a bunch of them. I got to talk to Shahid. Got my boy Wingo a shout out. That was awesome. Super Bowl champion now, by the way.
I know. Big time.
I'll tell you, Carlton Davis was an awesome interview. We really hit it off. It was a good convo. Carlton Davis. I got a question with JSN on the podium. Super cool. He was kind of at the end of it, and he was kind of like getting dumbass questions, and he was like, you could tell he was just like, holy shit, this is terrible. And I came in and asked him about Brian Hartline and his impact on his career and his thought. And he was like, dude, he gave me a good ass answer. And I didn't know this. He was the first recruit for Brian Hartline to Ohio State. And he thought that was a pretty cool tie to me. And
the best receiver.
Yeah, I mean, come on. JSN's a dog. That's one thing I will say about you don't realize how cocky or like he truly believes he's the best of the best. Like people were like, of course, people were like, if you're not the best receiver in the league, who is? And he's like, I'm the best receiver, period. I am the one, number one, no doubt. Like, and you gotta be that. He can believe it because he truly is. But it's also crazy just to see that from 5 foot away, to truly see somebody sitting there 5 days before the Super Bowl, like, yeah, no, I'm him. You're looking at him. Next question. And it was like, dude, that's electric because it's like this motherfucker really is. It's different when we talk shit to each other, like, oh yeah, I'm the one, I'm the guy, I'm him. But like this dude was like, I'm actually fucking him, and I'm about to go win a Super Bowl. And I was like, okay, next question. We believe you. We believe you. So JSN, I'll tell you a funny story. This is going to take some pride to tell you this, but I'll tell you the truth. Me and David, we're standing in line. We were talking to Jeff Darlington. I was talking to Jeff Darlington. Another cool story. Shout out, Jeff. Hopefully he's going to be on here soon. He was talking to his wife. He said, let me call you back. He said, you're not going to believe this. And he put, when you open your Apple account and you can see the picture that everybody sees when you call them.
Yeah.
It's his picture with the dive bar hat on. So every time he calls somebody, and Lord knows who Jeff Darlington calls.
Yeah.
It shows him sitting there in a dive bar hat. So I thought that was awesome. And for him to share that with me and get off the phone with his wife, telling his kids good night, that was awesome. But we were sitting there waiting for Mike McDonald. And I looked at David and I said, we got to get the fuck out of here. He said, what? I said, dude, we got no business talking to Mike McDonald. What the hell are you going to ask him? I said, I'm not trying to get clipped. Let's get the hell out of here. Let's go find some more players. So we aborted that mission. I'm not going to lie. I was sitting there looking at Mike McDonald and I was just like, dude, what do you ask a man that's literally like one of the youngest, most successful coaches in football? That's a dog. It's like, what do you even go up there and say that this guy doesn't know or hasn't heard? I'm like, dude, I'm not even like, let's not even do this. Like, I'm not doing this. So let me think. Was there any more that night?
Oh, you got to tell the Willie C story and Taylor the One.
Yeah, ran into the bussing with the boys. Come to find out, their manager is one of our homies, Clump. Clump gave me a bucket hat. Should have it in here, but I don't have it in here. I got a bunch of shit this trip though. Y'all ain't seen this yet. Ooh, Wingo, what's up, boy? What's up, Wingo? What's up, boy? Dude, got a bunch of shit. Andre came with sweaters. I got a Guys Being Dude sweater. I got Tranquilo sweaters, Tranquilo hoodies. Dude, it was insane. But I bump into the Bussin' boys, and it was electric, dude. Those guys, one thing I'll say about like the McAfee boys and the Bussin' boys is like they deserve everything they're getting. Like them are the coolest dudes you will ever meet. Those guys are not phonies. That's not all just cameras. Those dudes will stand there and bullshit and dap you up and flex and talk shit and compliment your hat and everything in between, just hours on hours. They don't even know that they're big time. You would think it's one of us. Like those dudes are awesome. The McAfee boys, I got to hang out with Gumpy and Darius Butler. Super cool as shit. Both of those guys should be coming on at some point. And then like, dude, the Bussin' boys, they were around all week. Like I talked to them guys 3 or 4 different times and they always had time. They always wanted to joke. They always want to hear what you got to say. Cool dudes, cool as they come.
All right, I think I'm done. I think I'm done listening to Bobby's Dream Week.
Also, all right, so Schefter, Rappaport, Trey Boston, Jordan Poyer,
Pat.
Didn't
you get McAfee on?
Hondo did. David interviewed Pat McAfee.
Right. On movies.
I was talking to Gumpy and Darius Butler on the side stage. I went back there with Gumpy, and then Pat. That's another thing about Pat McAfee. After every live show, 3.5 hours live, he stand out there for an hour, 2 hours, talk to every person. And I don't mean like yes, no, yes, no. I mean this dude would give everybody 5-6 minutes. It was insane. And you'll see it. David and Pooch got like 5-6 minutes worth of an interview with Pat McAfee.
That's awesome.
That was awesome. And then we got we
Good
had
week, Bob. That was a good
Yeah.
week.
Ryan Davis, the comedian. He's got like 2 million followers. Special
What
out right now.
about Lee Steinberg?
Lee Steinberg fell into our lap. You know, no Rosenhaus, but we'll take it around here. You know, I did see Rosenhaus, by the way, and I used the Wingo card to get in.
I was gonna say only if we had a connection.
He was rolling around with, I think, Aaron.
Yeah, dude, when he came in the building, it's always so funny because you know how these guys feel about, you know, Rosenhaus probably seen it all. You know what I mean? Like, this guy's been around so long. The biggest athletes, he doesn't care about much probably, but I see him come in the building and I'm like, oh, there's Rosenhaus. I gotta go say what's up to him. Yeah. And I could see him see me coming from a distance. And you know, he's just thinking like, motherfucker, this guy's coming right at me right now. Like, Jesus Christ, he wants a picture. So I'm like, I feel that tension. So I got like, as soon as I got close enough to speak, I was like, hey, what's up, man? I'm boys with Derek Wingo. Are you keeping him in line? And he's like, oh, Derek. And he shakes my hand. You can tell he's relieved because it's like, oh, he's not just trying to get a picture or anything else. And he's like, yeah, we're trying. I love Derek. You know, he's awesome. Yeah. And he's kind of keeping it moving. But he went and got up with Aaron Jones, like you said, and he's walking him around all day. So yeah, I got to actually meet Chris Spencer. Most of y'all probably don't know that name, but that's like a legend comedian. That dude was in Don't Be a Menace with the Wayne brothers, and he was the preacher.
South Central while drinking.
He was the preacher. You know, the preacher that was like, excuse me, Miss Lady, tap that white woman on the back for me. That's Chris Spencer, and I got to interview him. And to me, that was electric because Don't Be a Menace was freaking just a classic for me as a kid.
Movie, dude.
And to be sitting there with a guy that's like such an OG and like now he's with like Kevin Hart Productions and such a big deal. His Hulu special came out Wednesday. I'm interviewing him Thursday morning. It's like, dude, this is incredible. So that was an awesome. We did him and Ryan Davis together, and Ryan Davis is huge. Like he was at a bunch of big events. He's also part of Kevin Hart Production. They do a lot of stuff together. So that was also cool. They also, I didn't get it. I didn't do these. I didn't want to do them all. I wanted to give them some stuff that wasn't really like sports related. They did the pilots for the Super Bowl, which was really cool. They got to interview the guy that was actually flying the middle one, the biggest one. I think it's a B1, or I don't know. I don't want to be wrong, but he flew the main plane, and it was the biggest one. And they interviewed him. That was cool. They had the guy that does the book series, The Goat. I don't know if y'all seen that, but he wrote those and he's selling those. So that was cool. I know I'm probably forgetting some, but it was awesome. We all in all, we ended up getting like 30 interviews, did a lot of short stuff as well on the sides, like my stuff with Schefter, Rappaport and stuff like that. So it was awesome.
Yeah,
do it again sometime.
It was a hell of a weekend, dude. You were absolutely killing it. Just sending us stuff offline. As soon as like day one, like I had in my head, I'm like, you're gonna be doing some cool stuff, but like I thought there was a separation of like ESPN type media and podcasts. And I'm
same,
like,
dude, 100% same.
And Bobby, I swear to God, within like an hour or two of him landing, he sends us like his feet are on the Pat McAfee set, and he's with Gumpy. I'm like, I had no idea it was that kind of access. And from then on, I'm like, dude, this is extremely impressive. This is so impressive. The stuff that you were seeing, the access that you had. I didn't know it was at that level, and I'm just happy for you. That was a awesome experience, especially kind of off the rip too. You didn't. This wasn't a planned kind of experience,
right?
Yeah.
I will say this: it was more than I could have even imagined. Like that's one thing I want to make people understand is, like, you truly are in a convention center in one big room, with like 3,000 A-listers. Like, not even kidding. Like, you'll be walking to go get a corn dog, and past Derrick Henry, past John Gruden. Like, it's like that. It really is. There is nothing. I don't think there's any place you can get that kind of access to those kind of people. Like,
not at all.
True access. It's absolutely electric. It's incredible. And yes, we need to all be there next year. We need to make it, definitely need to capitalize.
I'll definitely be there next year.
Yeah. That's sick.
And then we're forgetting about the whole Super Bowl as itself. We didn't even get to that.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of the Super Bowl, let's get into that.
What a great segue into the Super Bowl. We love segues on the Dive Bar podcast. It was a bit of a snooze fest until halfway through the fourth quarter. Start with thought. Wingo, let's get your thoughts on the Super Bowl first.
All right, so before I get going on it, I'll just say I just told Bobby this before the show. I actually work out with one of the NFL referees, and his words were Sam Darnold is not one of the top quarterbacks. He is just surrounded by a complete team, which I fully agree with. Sam Darnold did not, at least in this game, did not throw the ball well. I mean, to JSN, you could see there was multiple passes that were behind him, not leading them and just all over the place. So, I think them having a complete team and an amazing defense, being able to rush the passer, the back end just being amazing. And then they were just being somewhat conservative, right? Taking the 3 points, putting points on the board and just going back at it over and over and over again. The Patriots were able to keep their defense, going to kind of keep it tight a little bit. But, as soon as everybody saw that defensive touchdown by Seattle, everyone knew it was over.
Backbreaker.
I mean, I guess we kind of found out who Drake May really is, right? Because
that's totally fair.
I think it is, right?
Okay, defense
let me finish first, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I think the Patriots were surrounded by the narratives of they kind of walked into the Super Bowl. And to be honest, he didn't do anything to negate that, right? And it seemed as if the lights were a little bright for him. And I mean, by the way, shout out Matt Collins, the only guy who showed up. I mean, what a dunk.
Oh, later in the game, though. Later in the game.
I mean, I don't care. Like, I have a special place in my heart for Matt Collins, so I'll always shout him out. Especially when he came in as Hannibal Lecter walking in, and everybody's like, "What is this guy doing?" And he
Whose
scored a
jersey
touchdown.
did he have?
Scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl, which is
Mike
pretty cool.
Vrabel's high school jersey.
Was it? I didn't know whose jersey that was.
Which was cool because he played for a team that's nickname was the Warriors, and he's been doing that Warriors bit the whole.
Yeah, that's true.
So it kind of makes it. Funny story about Matt Collins. I tried to get an interview with Matt Collins. The crowd was crazy around Matt Collins. He was barefoot in the convention center. Also, he was saying, and this is why I didn't even wait for it. One, the crowd was nuts. Like, because he's going to say some wild shit. You'll get a good clip. I wanted to get him because he's a former Dolphin, but he was telling everybody who walked up like no football questions. And I was like,
That's cool.
That's cool, but it's like, what the hell am I going to ask him now? I'm not waiting 30 deep to ask him where'd the barefoot thing come from? Did you know that you're using the Warriors bit wrong? Like, it was like, that's not worth it for me.
Derek, did you ever get to meet Mac? I know he's trained with Nick a couple times on the field.
I don't know if I actually met him. I might have been around those days and just not realized it was him. But no, not off the top of my head.
Yeah, because I remember Nick told a story once where they went to go throw with Tua and Hollins came out barefoot, and that was like the first time like Nick brought the barefoot thing to our attention. I don't know if you guys remember that. And he's like, man, he's just the most infectious guy, but the weirdest dude. Like it's like the best way to describe him, like the coolest dude you'll ever meet, but that dude is not from this planet.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if you ever bumped into him, just because you guys were working out in the same gym. That's all. But yeah, dude, like the Patriots, the defense did the job, right? I mean, the Seahawks weren't world beaters. It just was a battle of basically who can move the ball and field position. Really, it was a really, really boring game. I hate to say this, but Bad Bunny was the best part of the game, guys.
I took a lot of heat for that one.
Yeah, I mean, but it's true. I mean, listen. The halftime show was better than the game.
As first half, at least. It did spice up a little bit. I think that it was kind of funny. I was thinking that if this was the Dolphins playing the Super Bowl and the Patriots defense was playing like as the Dolphins defense, I would have been completely insufferable on Twitter because the Patriots defense was honestly like cold gripping, like white knuckling the game, doing everything that they possibly
Gonzalez is just
in the game, and they just
dog.
They couldn't produce on offense. And it was just like, I didn't think that the Seahawks, I didn't think neither offense was great going to that game. I didn't think the Seahawks had a great offense. That was going to be a game of defenses from day one. I mean, if anybody told you different, that there was going to be lighting up on the scoreboard, anything like that, I think they would have called you crazy, at least called you out on it. But yeah, it
Well, I mean, but the thing is the Seahawks moved the ball really well. They just couldn't score. Like
They couldn't finish.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they moved the ball. Kenneth Walker had like 100
Kenneth
yards
Walker
at
is
the
a
half.
fucking dog.
Dog, dude. He was so good at Michigan State too. You know what's crazy is I had Kenneth Walker on my fantasy team, and like many Kenneth Walker apologists, as I have been throughout the entire fantasy season, is he a 2,000-yard rusher without Zach Charbonnet on that team?
That was about to be my take because
he's a 2,000-yard rusher. If Zach Charbonnet's on that team, like he's.
I'll tell you what he definitely is. He's probably the single season rushing touchdown holder.
Yes,
because Jesus Christ, Charbonnet gets all the goals. It's like,
trust me, I know.
I ain't gonna get into who it reminds me of.
Anytime TD, always in the lay.
Oh my God, Charbonnet. But yeah, seriously, because they would split. They would split complete series. It wasn't like rotating in and out. They would complete. This is Walker series. It's Charbonnet series. It's Walker series. It's Charbonnet series. And man, I'm just watching him. I'm like, dude, how does? Like, I know that they had a great rushing game throughout the entire season, but is it better with just Kenneth Walker at the helm the entire season? I don't know.
So I'll tell you this. One of the things I think, obviously he's a dog, right? And Kenneth Walker has always been a really good running back. But I think, in my personal opinion, the reason why he was so successful those last few games is because they were able to do that all season, right? You look at it, having depth, it allows you to play to that full ability. And someone like a running back, they're the shortest careers in the NFL, right? You're taking hits, multiple hits every single play consistently. Someone like him being able to have that full season and splitting reps and things like that, now let him, take off a little bit in the playoffs. So, but I do think that he's definitely a caliber running back that can do that the entire season long. But how many seasons now could he be able to do that?
And he just came off a big injury, right? Was it ACL?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. So
and not only that, like his style of running is dangerous. He's a dangerous running back. He seeks contact.
Dude, that Le'Veon Bell patience was insane.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
It must come from Michigan State.
Dalvin Cook at Florida State is who.
Dalvin Cook was actually in Minnesota as well. Like the early years in Minnesota, same shit. Super good at being patient. You're right.
What was the most surprising thing for you guys in the Super Bowl?
Probably how bad the Patriots O-line was.
Will Campbell, that was kind of disappointing to see.
It wasn't just like they were bad. Like Drake May was getting blasted awful, son. No balls. They boys are cooking that boy. That was bad, dude. He was getting rocked over and over.
I definitely felt like Drake May almost felt a little bit lost just because of the way the O-line was playing, because there was a few throws, probably like 4 or 5, maybe 6 that he threw up, and there was 4 guys in the area. And I'm like, Drake May was MVP, in the running. And he was just doing it multiple times. I think he was getting to the point where he was just trying to get the ball out because he's thinking he's, taking a hit or something like that. So I was a little bit surprised like that because the Patriots have been a really complete team the entire season. We all know Campbell, right? Rookie season, he's 22. Hopefully he can improve. But gosh, they knew where they were going to attack and they went after it.
I mean, his blitz packages were crazy, bro. And they really did load that Will Campbell side up. I noticed it multiple times where they brought one extra guy on that side, and Will Campbell guessed wrong almost every time.
And they were just losing their one-on-ones on the offensive line. Like, it wasn't really anything exotic. They did bail out, and they did do some shifting, disguising on the back end. But at the end of the day, the Patriots offensive line were just losing their one-on-ones. And again, football, it comes down to winning one-on-ones, 11 people against 11 people.
The momentum was just completely Seattle the entire game.
That is a good point by David Dicker, though. It is the refs did let them play. We didn't see a flag in the whole first half, I think. I mean, they were just letting them play. They were letting them ball.
The only flag I seen was Puerto Rican.
There was multiple. Hey, they had every nationality, had every flag flying. So.
North America and South America.
Yeah. Together we are America.
Yeah.
And that's all I gotta say about that.
Kind of spinning this into some Dolphins talk, kind of gives me some hope for Hafley, right? Can Hafley be the next McDonald?
Gives me some hope for freaking John Eric Sullivan, because that freaking GM for Seattle is a Green Bay boy.
Did you see the drafts? Like when you put those drafts back to back to back, and you're reading down the list, I'm like, hit, solid, hit, solid. It's unbelievable. Great drafting.
Well, somebody was saying, "Holy shit, they won the Super Bowl and they got the 4th most cap space." And I was like, "Yeah, do you see the young dogs on that team? That cap means nothing. They're about to pay. You got Woolen paid. You're gonna have Byron Murphy, but he's only 2nd year, and luckily Imanwari is 1st year. But dude, they're gonna need that money. They're gonna have to hold on to it because they got to pay everybody. Is JSN paid yet? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No, that's 45 right there, boy. That's 45 to the dome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the issues went up a little bit too, so that'll help slightly.
You know what's crazy is both of the teams that were in the Super Bowl, they both have over 100 million in cap space going into the 2026 season.
Jeez.
That's crazy. Like you would think it's a complete opposite, but those are 2 teams that have some of the most cap space, top 10 cap space in the NFL this year. I think the Patriots are top 5.
That shows you the potential you can have when you can actually hit in the draft. Yeah. And you can keep reshuffling and building the trenches with young players. You can do that. I mean, dude, Charles Cross is the 3rd highest paid tackle in the league. And dude, when he got drafted, no one who the hell is Charles Cross?
Yeah.
Dog, that's who he is. Like they just hit. Zabel, talk about a good interview. We got Zabel and we got Charles Cross and we got Kenneth Walker. When y'all started talking, I was remembering everything we did. Kenneth Walker,
Zabel. Forget Kenneth Walker.
Dude, Gray Zabel was the highest drafted guard in forever. People are like, what the hell are they doing? Dog. Day 1 All-Pro, just left guard, dog. All he wants to do is drink beer and knock motherfuckers' heads off.
That's what you need at guard.
Which brings me to my next point about Jennings Dunker, right?
No, but imagine having the balls to draft a North Dakota State guard at 15.
The wood.
He is that man. Dude, that's insane, dude.
I mean, those are 2 guys that Dolphins Twitter wanted. We wanted Zabel and we wanted Imanwari.
Yeah.
We wanted both those guys.
Yeah, Imanwari is Camp Chancellor 2.0. That's incredible to see.
It's like putting DK Metcalf at safety. It's insane.
Which highlights the fact that if Caleb Downs is actually available at 11, you don't walk, you sprint to the podium. Like it's like such a it's non-negotiable. You put him and Minka in the backfield and just watch this defense change, bro. I was thinking about it earlier and I was like, I almost made a tweet and I was like, I really don't feel like debating with idiots all day. But I'm like, bro, by getting Caleb Downs and maybe like Jacob Rodriguez in a 4-3 scheme makes me feel things. Kenneth Grant's going to take the jump, right? Jordan Phillips going to take the jump. That's rotational. Sealer's still here. Can Chop make the jump? If not, can we draft a young edge? Like these are we're not as many pieces on the defense away as we think we are.
That's a great question. That's a great question, Noah. That's a great question.
If we only had somebody that had that information.
Hey, you know what? We'll see if we can get some intel for you on next show.
Maybe next week.
Tune in next week to Dragon Ball Z.
Speaking of Texas Tech, though, you brought up Rodriguez. David Bailey is another name to watch. Edge coming out of Texas Tech. Texas Tech is low-key going to have one of the best defensive professional drafts
height too
in a long time. Their defense. I was looking at some of the players. I was really kind of digging into the draft. It's about that time. I'm looking at these guys from Texas Tech. I'm like, Jesus, this is like Ohio State level type.
Yeah, they got 4 guys off the top of my head. They got three D linemen and a linebacker that are easily top 2, 3.
Ohio State's super loaded though. They are loaded again. Like Ohio State just always brings them.
I think David Bailey is like, are you cool going edge at 11? Because I don't think I am, man.
No.
I really don't think I am.
He's a game changer. He's a game changer.
I would not be mad if you sit at 11, you get David Bailey. I'm just going, all right, cool.
Yeah. I got a sleeper from you from Texas Tech that I think maybe obviously I would love to get him down to Miami, but Caleb Douglas, who was the receiver from Texas Tech, he's going to be a receiver. Texas Tech has another really good receiver. He'll go a little bit later than him, but I think Caleb Douglas is going to be one of the receivers that's sleeping coming out of this draft. That is a guy who can play outside, go up and get the ball back in the end zone. A different type of receiver than the Waddles and the Tyreek Hills was what we're looking for.
Yeah, and that kind of fits in with Green Bay, the way that they draft receivers. They draft all those big guys, and he's a big body receiver. He eats up that cushion pretty well. And yeah, dude, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I think I said it last pod in the pod before, but again, 5 picks in the top 90 players of college football. Let's see what you got,
Dude, I think it's crazy how they're saying, go ahead, Joe.
No, I was going to say the thing is, especially with the receiver group this year, it's really deep. Yeah. Like, I don't think that the way our team is built right now, we can really afford to take a receiver in the first 90 picks. Like, I don't think it's like the Jacoby Lanes are fun to think about, but you're going away from building a real team right now. Like, we're not a gadget player away or a number one receiver away even. Like, we have no DBs to speak of. We're very young. We have one linebacker, right? Like, we're about to switch to a 4-3. We need a linebacker core, which is why Sonny Styles is another guy where if guys that we want go early and Sonny Styles is sitting there, that's a no-brainer to me as well. I mean, you put Sonny Styles with Jordan Brooks and T-Dot, my boy, that's a linebacker core.
And I think you got someone like Sonny Styles who's versatile, right? You can move him around a lot. You can have those rabbits packages and those different types of things where he rushes off the edge. He can drop back into coverage. He can do that things to let someone like Jordan Brooks, focus on just this side of the field, and you have someone else doing something over here. Like, you have a rush and a pass and things working, hand in hand. And that's where it comes with versatile players. It allows you to open up your playbook on defense. And I think, that's something that the Dolphins need to do, because when you look at the Dolphins defense schematically, right, you know where the weakness is and you know what you're going to attack. And when they come out after the first couple of drives, you'd be like, okay, they're not feeling it in the back end today. I'm going to get them. Or, okay, their D-line, someone's not awake today. We're just going to run the ball. So having versatility with guys, like, you never know what you're going to get. So someone like him, I think, will be really, really valuable.
I think it's awesome to see, or crazy to see, I should say, not awesome necessarily, but it's always interesting to see how names move up and down the board through the process. It's like today I seen Mekhi Lemon is now arguably wide receiver 1. I'm like, what the fuck is that? What is happening? Dude, this kid's like, don't get me wrong. He's electric, but like, dude, it's another 5'10". Dude, he reminds me of Will Fuller. Like, that's who I see when I watch him. But it's like, I'd honestly be pissed if we took Lemon over, what's his name, Wingo? Carnell Tate. You got Carnell Tate, a bona fide number one, everything you built in a lab, and you just can't do it, dude. Not after watching. This is personally because we're Dolphin fans, but like, you can't watch Tyreek get jammed on the line in the playoffs and Waddle struggle to stay on the field and just do that again and go get Lemon, another 5'10", electric, obviously, but like Carnell Tate's true number one. That's more what I want this year.
Yeah.
There is zero chance that Hafley takes a receiver in round 1.
No.
He would lose everybody.
You mean John Eric Sullivan?
All right, yeah, I'm sorry, Sully. But yeah, no, there's 0% chance, bro. There's guys like Maui Goa, even Fano, right? The tackle. I mean, if those two tackles are available, those are guys you don't even really want to pass up on. There's going to be a lot of options. It's really going to depend, Baines talked about, because of Will Campbell's short arms, that he's going to slip. That's a guy that I wouldn't pass on as an edge.
Dude, my favorite.
So I don't want another edge that's a speedy edge guy that's just a flexible ankle guy. I want somebody who's a dog. 6'5", 250, 265, like a big boy that can really set an edge.
Yeah.
Dude, my favorite meme going right now is the Will Campbell with the dinosaur arms.
Oh, dude, man, it's so good,
great,
bro.
Dude, it never gets old. I stop and look at that thing for 10 seconds every time I see it. It's like,
well, dude, you're talking about wide receivers and the way the Packers have drafted wide receivers just from 2023 to 2025. Jalen Reed, 2nd round, Christian Watson, 2nd round, Romeo Doubs, 4th round, Dontavian Wicks, 5th round. Their only first rounder in the last 3 years here was Matthew Golden. They like traits, and they do like to get value with their receivers. So that's why Jacoby Lane and stuff like that makes sense in the 2nd or 3rd. I'm not saying necessarily the Dolphins are going to do that. It's just that's my PTSD as a Dolphins fan thinking about Lemon going over Carnell Tate. I'm just saying, like, there's no way. Just talking general draft talk. How the hell do you take Lemon over Tate? I don't get that. And Nick Tyson, go ahead. No, I'm saying I just think it's a BPA draft. Like, you have to, especially in a rebuild. Like, you want to get as many superstars in your team at any position possible as quickly as possible. We don't have the luxury of drafting like, oh, let's we need a right tackle, we need a corner. Like, it'd be great to get a superstar there, but I think it's just best player available draft.
The more I think about it too, at first I hated that we didn't get like 8 where we was going to end up, because I was like, the Bengals are definitely going to take downs. Oh, my boy Gunt. Hey, long time coming. Got to meet my boy Gunt. We were talking about you earlier, man. Super awesome dude. Yeah. Got to tell him how my wife's family's from Canada and stuff. And man, good meeting you, Gump. But yeah, it was like the hell was I saying? Damn it, Gump.
Damn it, Gump.
Damn it, boy.
Bobby's still jet lagged.
Yeah, I'm jet lagged.
We're talking about best player available, and
now that I'm at 11, I'm kind of like looking around. I'm like, not bad. I think I'm gonna really love somebody at 11. Like, there's a lot of people I love at 11 now. I was stuck on downs, and I still am. Don't get me wrong. But now that I see like guys rising and like seeing what we really could, we're gonna get a stud at 11 unless we really fuck it up. Like, I love a lot of people at 11. I didn't think I would. I do.
So the one way I feel like we could really fuck it up is by going cornerback. And hear me out. The cornerback discussion's a little weird for me this year with CB1, where it's like McCoy would be CB1 if he never got injured, right? It'd be
easily
top 5. He'd be a top 5 pick.
Yep.
Easy peasy. Don't send it in. Don't even think about it. But now he's got the injury lingering, so we're going. You got to go Mansour Delane, but he wouldn't even be CB1. He'd be CB2. And what if we go with one of those guys and they don't pan out? Like, there's just too much PTSD as a Dolphin fan. Whereas you could just go with hey, Caleb Downs is safety number 1. Don't even think about it. Premier safety, gonna be a superstar. Or Sonny Styles, absolute superstar at linebacker. You went young on D-line last year. You're going young on the linebacker. Now you have a core that's gonna grow together. Whereas you go cornerback and you miss on cornerback, you're screwed. And we also have a young DB room as well, no?
Yeah. I mean, if you can,
it just scares the living shit out of me. And then also there's Terrell as well. And what if he's CB1?
I like Terrell a lot.
I love Terrell. I mean,
the bloodline, dude.
It's a lot to think about, man. It's a lot to think about.
I'll say this. D'Angelo Pons had a hell of a college run. I mean, that dog, like him and what he did at Indiana was incredible. I hate to do this to you, Wingo. I know he's a Rosenhaus boy, but goddamn, when I see 5'9", 5'10", whatever, it's like, oh no, this can't happen.
I know, and I even say it too, because I'm also just like, a football guy. I love to watch football, but the biggest thing that stands out is just how hard he plays.
Oh, he's a dog.
The technique, he plays with technique. If you look in the national championship, right, they try to get a few mismatched with the height difference, and there was some catches where it was just physically like the guy was just taller than him. But, I think that's a guy who's going to lay out for your team and is going to kind of give his all. And I think in the NFL, those are very few to come around, I believe, in the NFL. I've been around some few guys even just over at the gym, and, they're in their second and third year and they're talking about, I just want to get a little bit of money and then, kind of get out. And like, they're done with football. And I think that's almost a consensus across the league sometimes with teams that are just not contenders. Like, the biggest question I always have for athletes, like when you're in the NFL for a little period of time, is like, do you really love playing the game still? Like, do you really love it, or do you love what you're getting from it? And I think that's the difference when you look at teams like, Seattle and then the Patriots. Even look at the Patriots, someone who was a complete, 360 from last year. Those guys bought into Vrabel and bought into what they were doing, and they loved the game of football, and they were able to be successsul from it.
Yeah, and we're talking about you're talking about cornerback. You go back to like the Packers way, and of course, somebody made a really good point. On the timeline, they're like, yeah, you can talk about the Packer way and how they've been patient, the way they've been building the team through the draft. They're not kind of overreaching on guys. They're trying to get value where it is. Now that's what these guys that came to Miami, they've had higher ups that they were listening to. So they might do a different thing down here in Miami. But if you stick with the same path that they were doing in Green Bay, you look at the corners for the Packers 2024, 2025, Carrington Valentine, Keyshawn Nixon, and Nate Hobbs. I mean, they got some good production out of them, and that's a 7th rounder, undrafted, and a 5th rounder. Are they going to put corner that high? I mean, Terrell's brother, he's going to be a great first round pick. Mansour Delane, they're going to be. I'm obviously I bring up Mansour all the time. I'm big on him, but I don't see corner at 11.
I got a little controversy thing for you. I want to get your guys' opinion on it. We talked a little bit, in the beginning, or I guess last year, about one of my boys, Jason Marshall, right, who played outside at corner, and then they started moving around to the nickel position, right, because they were looking at someone that was smart, could understand it, can move around well. Well, now if you're talking about D'Angelo Pons, if I'm a coordinator, right, and I'm looking at not wanting to have those mismatches out at the wide receiver one and out in space. Why can't you maybe in the nickel package put someone like that who has the speed, has the technique, can move around, right? Is a guy who's played at a high level already. So that's where it's like, hey, how does that match up to the roster that you already have? You have to have a backup plan. Like let's say we go with D'Angelo Pons. Is he going to fit in well at the cornerback one spot matched up against DK Metcalf? I don't know if I want that. So let's say, hey, if that didn't work out, I can move him over to the corner. But now we just took Jason Marshall as well. Now there's a conflict, and now that's when you're spending extra cash and you're losing money in your cap space overall.
Yeah, this will be a good pull for you, Wingo. You'll like this one. I can see him kind of taking the same path as like CJ Gardner-Johnson, where like he comes from Florida, dog obviously, but he ends up being like an all-pro nickel.
Yeah,
and he's awesome in the slot. He's physical, he's aggressive, and then he transitions to safety, and he's even better. And it's like, don't turn down good players. Just put them in spots that are going to make them the best. And that's kind of how I see it with him.
Yeah.
But I would say I feel like we kind of have that in Cater. So it's kind of like replicating that. I feel like Cater's that nickel dog. So if we were to get a cornerback, it would have to be a lengthy one, a CB1, somebody who can go out. You know what I mean? So I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Now, the question for you is, if we don't go Caleb Downs, do we still look for a safety in this draft? Because we did draft Trader, which I think he's going to pan out. I think he had a good year one. But does Minka stay? Do we go with the Ashton Davis? Do we run that back? Because there are some late guys that I like as well. I know people talk about the kid. I
like the kid from Oregon, boy.
Tinneman.
That kid's blue collar.
And Neil McWarren, I think it is. Neil McWarren.
Toledo.
There's a few good second round safeties. Like
and he played with Quinyon Mitchell too. So it's that same breed, right? That same DB room.
I mean, dude, there's a lot of really good safeties in the draft. Kid from USC.
LSU has the
Ramson,
AJ Housey.
Yeah.
I think if you're the Miami Dolphins, you have to figure out a way to keep somebody like Minka. You have somebody who's
I got him, boy.
you have somebody who's been around the game, who has the experience, is a leader, does all the things the right way. That's what you want to keep in your locker room, right? New GM, new head coach, you're getting a new staff, right? Who can you now point to and look to rely on? That's something that you can go to and do that to set the example for not only just the younger guys coming in the draft, but also just the new guys that they might do trades and this and that and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's somebody that the Miami Dolphins has to find a way to be able to keep Minka in the building.
For sure.
Not saying.
Where do you expect D'Angelo to be drafted right now?
Second. I think D'Angelo, I think he's going to run really well. I think he has the potential to run a 4.3, so I think that's going to help his stock a lot. He's a speedy guy, man. And you look at it, his biggest question is, right, is he undersized? He's going to have a vertical that's going to be up there. He's going to run, most likely a 4.3. And that's a guy that, if I'm an NFL coach right now, I'm looking at, hey, I'd love to try him on the outside, obviously, because that's what he's used to playing. But if all goes wrong, I still got a great pick, and not only a special teams player, but also someone that can maybe transition into the nickel position.
He could just be a weapon. You could use him kind of like Minka was used this year. He's in the slot. He's on the back end. It's just, yeah. This guy says we want Minka, but does Minka still want us?
Yeah.
No, we've already
sure
discussed that.
Yeah.
He definitely wants.
He definitely wants to be here. Yeah, for sure. I think we buried that hatchet there.
Yeah, and another name at 11 that kind of frustrated me was the kid from Penn State, the guard, that people are like, dude, if we draft a guard at 11, I don't care that Seattle just did it. They were a guard away. We are not a guard away. If we draft a guard.
They wasn't a guard away though until they won a Super Bowl. Like, dude, I remember when I want to give shout out to DeMarcus Lawrence, because I remember he left Dallas and signed with Seattle, and he goes, I was never going to win a Super Bowl in Dallas. They were like, yeah, you're never going to fucking win a Super Bowl in Seattle. And then they went and won the Super Bowl. But it's like, Yeah, I agree. I don't want to guard at 11, but like, hey, trade down, and then we can talk about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really think Caleb Downs is going to be there at 11. I really do believe that he's. I mean,
There is no way Cincinnati lets him leave. There's no way.
what kind of screwed Miami though is like all these quarterbacks that stayed back in college this year. Like that, because if there's 3 quarterbacks coming out, that puts you at 11, 10, 9. That puts you at like 8, you know?
The only thing going our way is safety is not a valued position. It's like people like guard, tight end. Tight end's getting a little more popular, but still, those positions people don't spend 7th overall on. That could help us. Yeah. But I agree with Joe. Like, how do you got Joe Burrow over here basically telling you, quit fucking me, and you pass on Caleb Downs, a generational safety? Is like, there's no way. If Bain or Downs or whoever falls to them that's the defensive stud, mark them at 10. That's who's going before the Dolphins at 10.
I like that you just said tight ends, because I think in these next, maybe not this draft, I think it's going to start to pick up. But these next upcoming drafts, I think tight end is going to be a position that's going to mold very well. I say that because there was always the big question, transitioning from college to the NFL. Like, were you the big Wisconsin tight end that could just block, but you couldn't run routes? Or were you the Kyle Pitts from Florida that could run routes but couldn't block? Now you're slowly starting to see some of these tight ends. You look at the guy from Oregon who is able to block, and now you got a guy who can go downfield and be physical. And I think tight ends are realizing that, hey, I got to transition the way how I play. And I think, when I look at Miami, right, you have someone like, Darren Waller, who's a little bit older. I talked about in the beginning of the season, when they were able to not play him every drive, he played better.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing we were talking about with Charbonnet and with Kenneth Walker, right? If you're able to conserve your players that that are a little bit older or know that, it's just wear and tear on their bodies, how can you replace that? How could matching somebody like Darren Waller and the tight end from Oregon be, right? You got 2 similar guys, one that's a little bit younger, but then you can get into those 12 down packages. You can get into things where you can run the ball with Achane and right behind you. So I think tight end, maybe not now, or I can see a very successful tight end later in the draft that I think that we can sneak up on.
Yeah, we need our Tucker Craft.
Hell yeah.
Hey, but Kenyon Sadiq is being mocked to Miami at 11 several times. Like,
for sure.
He's in the conversation.
I would not be mad. Generational talent. I would not be mad.
Yeah.
And as you said, tight end coming along, like tight end's gotten hot because like last year you had 3 in the top 42. When did Mason go?
In the 3rd.
It was 40 something.
No,
second.
I think it was
38 maybe.
Yeah, second, sorry.
Yeah, well, you had Loveland.
Yep.
Warren,
the kid from Miami, Warren, and Mason.
Yeah, so 3 tight ends in top 38.
Arroyo too.
Yeah, that's why I said Arroyo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, Arroyo. Oh yeah, Super Bowl champion. You mean, boy? Put some respect on his name.
Bobby left Media Row, and he's just walking around different now, bro.
Hey, dude,
you got that last syndrome.
He must have said Super Bowl champion like 5 times, and I love it.
Listen, dude, when you working what the things I do, and you work, side by side with these athletes that are winning Super Bowls, you understand it. But until then, son, I'll see you on Tuesday nights. All right.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Wingo, I never really got your thoughts on a quarterback this year from Miami.
Yeah, you did.
Did we talk about that?
I gave you my quarterback. I don't even know the update. Honestly, I'm a little behind on his update. Trinidad Chambliss. If he was,
oh, I do remember. I do remember that. Yeah.
Not Trinidad Chambliss is my guy.
Yeah.
He's the quarterback situation. Obviously, you have a guy like Fernando who's he's just the whole package, right? Someone who's smart, can get it all done. But I'm looking at, C just said it, Quentin Ewers. I like Quentin a lot, right? But obviously I think we're going to move on from Tua. You need to replace either a veteran guy, but then you can't, how do you get a veteran guy with just the stuff going on with the cap, right? So can you draft somebody at, for a cheaper price? And I think you can do that. If you look at Trinidad, everyone's looking at his like a rookie. Obviously, he is a younger guy. He hasn't played at that next level. And it is a big transition from going from, D2 to D1 and then straight to the NFL. That is a big transition. But when I look at somebody who can throw the way that he can, has the calmness that he can, like when I'm watching him doing that 2-minute drive before halftime, I'm like, this kid knows what he's doing. He's not looking at the sidelines for anybody. He's just strictly commanding. He's hearing the call in his headset, and he's going. And he's ready, and he was born for those moments. And I think he's a guy that would be very successful in Miami.
How early do we have to go for him?
The board doesn't help you. Like the quarterback's going back to school, like Ghost said, does not help you.
Yeah.
I would love to use one of our thirds.
I think there's going to be some teams that actually pass on them, depending upon – you look at quarterbacks, right? When you take pro day, this is the one thing that always pisses me off. When you look at pro day, what quarterback ever has a bad pro day? Please tell me what quarterback has a bad pro day.
Actually, hold on. Who the hell did? Somebody had a terrible pro day.
Doing this. Every quarterback is going to have a great pro day.
Did Shador have a bad pro day?
Did
I don't even know if he had one.
I feel like no, he did. He 100% had one.
They hit him all offseason. He never threw. He thought he was too good, and that's why he didn't get drafted.
I don't know if he did.
No, Shador threw at Colorado.
Maybe, but I don't know.
100%.
I know he went
Either way, you're right.
Visit.
Zach Wilson's the best example. Kid had the fucking most electric pro day in the world.
What happens with Trinidad, right? If he's going to be a guy that's somewhat going to raise his stock when he has things like the pro day, if he is going to the combine, if whatever kind of gets figured out. But now, as a whole organization, when you actually go to make that decision, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to sit back in their seat and they're going to be like, okay, we saw this kid play great for 7 games. Are we really going to take the chance to take this guy in the second, third round off 7 games? Yes, he did win a national championship in D2. Yes, all the mechanics are there. But they might just take a step back because they're like, if one team does it, multiple teams are going to do it.
Sure.
Because that's where I say it's like, if somebody messes up the order in the beginning of the draft, then someone's like freaking out. I know you all have seen the movie, the Draft Day movie.
Yeah. What's going on? What do you know?
Exactly. So I think that's someone that you can see slip a little bit. Definitely.
Well, his size doesn't help, but I do think the D2 to D1 thing, I don't think is as scary anymore because there's been so many successful stories recently. Like we just talked about this. Like Mendoza's going to go number 1. He transferred several times. Cam Ward was last year's number 1. He did the same exact path as, your boy. So I don't know if that scares people. I think his size is what's going to scare people. You got Kyler Murray, who's going to be a big topic this offseason, and here comes 2.0, and I think that's the biggest thing.
He's not Kyler Murray small, bro.
I was literally just looking up because
I think he's like 6'1".
Yeah, I don't think he's that small, dude.
Look, I'm just throwing it out there, man.
If I had to guess, he's like 6'1", 208.
His size is going to hold him back before. Yeah, his size will hold him back before where he played school is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't think people are going to worry like the path he took. I mean, he just played at the highest level and had his best performances.
If we're going to go for a guy in the 3rd or 4th, to me, Taylor Green's the most attractive.
And I was going to say, these dudes are over here big timing me about a couple inches when they've been talking about 6'5" or nothing, son, all season. And now I'm crazy for saying 6'1" is not short. Okay.
Well, Taylor Green's 6'6", but as I digress.
I think that kid's terrible. I think he's going to be terrible. I think his processor is nowhere to be found. I'm out on him. I don't think he'll ever be anything other than Terrell Pryor.
I'll just go fuck myself. Have a good night, Bobby.
That's just my take. That's my take. I could be wrong. I just watch him and it's like.
Do you know what team he played for?
Yeah, Arizona State.
Nah, see, now you already lost all credibility.
Terrell Pryor? Ohio State, buddy. Come on.
Oh, I didn't think he was talking about Terrell Pryor. I thought he was talking about Taylor Green.
Oh,
yeah, Arkansas.
Yeah.
He did what he could at Arkansas. Give the kid a fucking break.
I do.
You're not talking about no processor at Alabama. You're talking about no processor at Arkansas throwing to nobodies.
I do see Bobby's point though, because when you do watch his tape, he's got great escapability. He's got that long stride. It's very flashy. He does run a lot. He does take off and run. It is more. I can see where Bobby's coming from just from looking at his tape and watching him on Saturdays. Is like he does. I feel like he does have guys with that open downfield. He has a lot of time in the pocket. Some of these, even if you just turn on like his highlight tapes, he's standing in the pocket, staring downfield, just doesn't throw the ball. And it sometimes that doesn't translate to the NFL. So I do see the point you're making, Bobby. But at this point, Dolphins fans,
if you're gonna roll a dice late in the draft, I mean,
that's what I'm saying. If you're gonna roll a dice,
I'm not mad about it. Bring a freak into camp and see if it turns into something.
149, Bob.
Yeah, buy a scratch off. I'm all for a scratch off ticket. Yeah. Hell yeah.
We're sick of
putting it out there, and I'm not trying to be a big brain here. people that I listened to for draft knowledge. I remember, and then like in the Senior Bowl and stuff, I just felt like he looks sluggish to me. It looks like it's not really clicking for him.
Yeah.
That's just
I'll
me.
review
Though.
the tapes. I'll be better from
He
this.
doesn't. You're talking about 5th round scratch off though. That's all good. It's like he's a lottery ticket. I get that. I will say this. I feel like everybody was out on Nussmeier or whatever it is. And like then he went and dominated Senior Bowl. And now people are like, I don't know, man. Maybe he just had a down year. You see, but that's the thing about this all this stuff. You quickly a guy can jump 2 rounds or fall 2 rounds, and it's like, I don't know. What do you believe?
People are backing on him. His name's all over the timeline.
So,
Boys,
all
we've
right,
been going an hour 10, just fucking chugging tonight. Who do we think we are? Joe Rogan?
more like Joe Robbie.
Hey, you.
Well,
Well, it's good to be back. Good to be back.
Great to be back. Now we're locked in. I know we're gonna do some cool stuff this all season. Hopefully one of these days soon, Gumpy will be not just in the live chat, but on the screen. I know my boy Wingo is grinding on some stuff on his end, some cool stuff. Yeah.
By the way, Wingo, before we go, funny story. Had no idea that your last interview wasn't actually live. And I was trying to, so I went and watched it live.
Oh.
Bro, you have no idea. I went to go watch it live, and I'm like trying to get the chat hype, and I'm like asking questions, like, "Hey, Chris,
he's asking you questions,
bro." I text Bobby. I'm like, "Yo, is Winko cool, dog?" Like, he's like, "Bro," he's like, "Bro, it's recorded," and I'm like,
he knew that too. That's the thing. It's like I send them pictures when I'm producing your podcast. I always send them a picture like back in the lab with Wingo or whatever, just being funny.
But bro, because it said live, like the YouTube thing popped up live.
I released it as a live premiere.
I did like it just like didn't click, bro. I was dying, dog.
He said, "Dude, I'm chirping him in the chat. He won't even reply to me. What's this dude? He's big timing me." I was like, "Dude, it's recorded."
I go, bro. There's only 7 views right now, bro. We gotta figure this out. We gotta get him more views. We gotta get him more live views. Like, what are we doing? Like, bro, I was freaking. This shit was hilarious.
2,600 views later.
Yeah, that was awesome. And it was a great interview, by the way.
Appreciate it.
My boy Wingo.
Other one's coming up soon. She was like, I gotta get the office done by tomorrow.
My boy Wingo learned how to use Twitter, and he's back on track, dude.
Lego.
All right, boys. Another great episode. Appreciate y'all. More to come.
Shout out Outcast Cigars. We love you so much.
And shout out to Outcast Cigars for making cool shit like last week happen. All right, boys.